data storytelling, again. Let's see how this works. There we go. All right. Big data. Big data. I'm saying big data as mind-boggling big data. Just in the US alone, we collect 4 petabytes of information a minute. But let's hold on a second. Petabytes, how much is that? That's for the nerds out there, 1 petabyte is 2 to the 50 bytes or 1 million gigabytes. To give you some comparison, when you go buy a laptop and say, it's like, hey, I have 500 gigabytes of hard drive, you go, right on, that's very good. This is 1 million of those a minute. So just imagine how much you collect a day. And why is this important? The large amount of information we are collecting means nothing if we don't put it on context. If we crunch these numbers and give you a story, then it's valuable. So that's where data storytelling comes in. Data storytelling has 3 important aspects to it. The first one is narrative, visuals, and then data. So if you couple data with a narrative, you explain. You explain the information, you give it some context. If you put data on top of visuals or visuals on top of data, you help your audience discover patterns, discover things hidden in between the data that otherwise would be difficult to see if it's just raw numbers. Then, if you join the narrative with your visuals, you help engage your audience, you help explain. And that's where the power starts coming on. If we put all of this together, the right narrative, the correct visuals, the right data, the correct visuals, and engaging narrative, you can drive change. And change is important. Change derived from painting a picture with numbers. Information is powerful. Data storytelling is even more powerful. It's putting context on this information. But with great power comes great responsibility. And the same way that you can paint a story, you can make this data fit any narrative. And I want to show you a few examples on how you just graph these visuals to just fit the narrative. Let's start with something simple, misleading graphs. So common among companies, you want to always show an uptrend. Uptrends are good for stocks. So first thing to be aware is anything that starts with the cumulative. If you put cumulative, you are aggregating. Aggregating is easy to always show uptrend because I just keep aggregating. As long as I sold 1 more, keep going up. So perhaps it's better to just show year over year and not aggregated. But you will think no company will really engage into these practices. But they do, at all times. They just create the graphs that better fit their narrative. This is Apple and iPhone sales. Sure, iPhones are selling a lot, but is it really that much? In reality, sales have been mostly flat if you just put it year over year. Another example. Interest rates are increasing at an alarming rate. If you look at this graph and see 2008 versus 2012, it looks like interest rates have maybe increased in a tenfold. Wow, I wouldn't be able to afford my mortgage like that. But what is correct? Another tip to always pay attention when you see in these graphs is look at the axis. Where does this start? If you look at them, you will notice that the correct graph starts at 0. The other one starts at a very convenient point of 3.14. Now, the right one shows the correct visual for an increase of just 0.012%. Should look mostly flat. Another example from the media. Good try by marketing. KFC looks to be 50% less calories than Taco Bell. In reality, it's just 10%. Again, look where this graph starts, and it says it starts at 590. Remember, this thing should start at 0 to show proper proportion. Different type of visuals. Love pie charts, but they should add up to 100%. This is basically like saying that 1 plus 1 equals 3. Doesn't mean that the data is wrong, just that they picked the wrong visual to show this data. Perhaps a bar chart was better for this scenario. Now I'm gonna get into a more nebulous graphic. This one is not just slightly misleading, this is flat out tricky. So what we learned, that we should always check the axis. Where does this graph start? Notice it starts at 873. Okay, so let's see what is the scale. Oh, wait, surprise, it goes all the way to 0. Shouldn't 0 be at the bottom to properly show this graph? By the way, this graph is pulled from a report of the Department of Law Enforcement in Florida. What it's showing you is gun deaths, and specifically flagging the point when Florida enacted the Stand Your Ground law. According to the graph as it's displayed here, gun deaths went down instantly, basically. But remember, the 0 is at top, which means this is the upside down world. So if we flip this graph, this is more correct, where the 0 is at the bottom, which means gun deaths went up. So just always pay attention to your axis, check the scales on your graphs, because all of these data visuals are awesome to paint the story, but they feed the narrative of the presenter. So today I would like to leave you with the wise words of Winston Churchill: do not trust any statistics you did not fake yourself. Thank you.